Hey, has this ever happened to you? You meet somebody and you go on a few dates. Everything seems to be going well, and then boom, she hits you with the
Maybe we should see other people.
or
I think that we should just be friends.
or just flat out
Blocked. Failure.
and now you're just confused and wondering what went wrong. Well, today we're going to discuss why this happens and what you need to do about it. But first, you need to like this video and subscribe to the channel before Chuck Norris climbs through your window and does it for you while strangling you with a piece of beef jerky. Okay, now let's get started.
Hey, it's Misty here. You're watching Touch Grass and wash your beep.
Everything was going well, then all of a sudden, nothing. Chances are you didn't do anything wrong. In fact, you probably did well. You were a finalist. You just didn't quite win the prize. You see, you were not the only one she was talking to. You were actually competing with several other men and didn't even know it. She probably liked everything you did, but liked someone else more, and ultimately she made a choice and cut you out. Most women have a roster, or a list of men that they date, hook up with, or talk to regularly. Until you're in a committed relationship, you must assume that you're not the only one. And if you're not her only one, then why should she be yours? Now, a lot of you guys who call yourselves serial monogamous push back on me when I tell you that you need a roster. But the roster is actually good for monogamy because it helps you find the best possible partner and someone that's worth your commitment. When you're just dating one woman and committing all of your time to her, it's easy to miss or accept her flaws and shortcomings. You might even ignore potential deal breakers because you have no one else to compare it to, or because you have no other options. For example, girl A might be a 9 in looks, but she has an annoying personality. Girl B might be slightly less attractive, but more fun to be around. This is all well and good until girl C comes along and is better than both of them in every way. Now you have real choices, including the choice to stay single and bang all three. Regardless of how you want to play it, having more women in the game will give you the freedom to have more scrutiny and less tolerance. Another reason for keeping a roster is to avoid overcommitment. Women don't like being put on a pedestal, especially in the early dating stage. Even if they like you, they don't want you blowing up their phone all the time. You have to give them a chance to miss you. Being too aggressive or obsessed with one woman will come off as desperate or even creepy. You need to give yourself something else to do, or in this case, someone else to do. Even when you're seeing someone, you need to keep going out, keep meeting new people, and keep your single routine because, after all, you are still single. When you have a strong social life and other women that are interested in you, it will actually help you with the one that you're interested in. It will show her that you are the prize and she has to work for you. They'll never admit it, but this is exactly what they want. Finally, and possibly the most important reason for having a roster is because it's the best way to deal with heartbreak. We've all been there. Things were going great, and then suddenly it's all over. She just lost interest overnight, and everything you thought you were working towards has gone out the window. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to crash out, blow up her inbox for weeks and weeks, bouncing back and forth between rage and grief, saying a bunch of stuff that you're going to regret? Are you going to send her a bunch of videos of you crying and singing her favorite love songs just for it to all end up on social media for the world to see? Hell no. A wise woman once said that the best way to get over someone is to get under someone else. This is why you need a roster. When your main crush crushes your soul, you can call in the backup and rock her body until the pain is nothing but a brief memory. So, those are some of the reasons why you need a roster. But how do you build one? Your roster should have three groups: starters, backups, practice squad. Now let's start with the starting lineup. These are the women that you're serious about. They're the ones with real relationship potential. And they're the ones that you're taking out on dates and actually doing things for. These women are high risk, high reward. They're the ones that you're most interested in, but be warned, they are also the ones who likely have a roster of their own and are the quickest to ghost you or ditch you at a moment's notice. For as long as you're single, you should at least have a couple of potential starters competing against each other at all times. Next up is the backup team. This is actually the most important part of your roster. These are women that you have a good relationship with, but there may be one or more deal breakers that prevent you from having a romantic relationship. Maybe there are differences in religion, and this is actually a huge deal breaker in a lot of cases. Or maybe you want to start a family and she doesn't want to have kids. Or maybe she's a single mom and maybe she has a history that doesn't line up with your preferences. There might be a lot of reasons why you're not right for each other, but you still have a great friendship and you're sexually compatible. In other words, she's the perfect friend with benefits. Now, this is crucial. The friend part matters. You are not leading them on and using them for sex. They know their role and they're fine with it because there's trust and understanding. You're building a legitimate platonic relationship that sometimes isn't platonic. You're both getting something out of it, and there's no jealousy or other feelings involved if one of you have to cut out the sexual part because you started seeing someone. Unlike the starters, who are the least loyal, the backups are the most loyal. They're the ones that you can talk to and share things with that you would never share with someone that you had relationship interest in. They're the ones who are always there. They're going to be in your corner no matter what, and they'll be there to help you out if things go south with one of your dating interests. And again, this is all mutual. You both know where the boundaries are, and you're both good with it. One good backup is all you need. Finally, we've talked about the least loyal starters and the most loyal backups. Now we're going to discuss the practice squad. These are your free agents, the 304 squad, the ladies of the night. These women belong to the streets, and they know it. They're single, free, and they just want to party. She's not your girl. She's everyone's girl. She isn't looking for anything. She just wants to party and get laid. And that's good news for you. Unlike the backups, there's no real relationship besides getting it on. You're not their friend. You're not hanging out with them. They're doing different guys every week. They're on OnlyFans. They're married and cheating. On a side note, do not mess with married women. This is just information. They're always practice squad. But these are the women who are doing the most. For an order of nachos, they'll give you anything you want. But be careful, they might give you something you don't want too. Regardless, these are nice to have because they like to party and they're good for keeping you active in the social scene. You want a couple of these on your roster because they're ready to go anytime, any place. But they're not mandatory, especially if you already have a couple of starters and a good backup. So, those are the three main parts of your roster and why each of them matters. Just because you have a roster doesn't mean that you're actively having sex with all of them, or even more than one. So yes, even if you're a serial monogamist, you still need a roster. The important thing is availability. You need some options on deck at all times. For guys that have trouble dating and meeting women, this may seem like an impossible task. The trick is to start from the bottom up. Go out and meet new people as often as possible, including people who are not relationship material. Work on the art of conversation and making friends, because friendships and platonic relationships are far more important than romantic relationships. The more comfortable you become with talking to people, the easier it'll be when you're ready to start filling out your roster.
Hey guys, that's it for this edition of Touch Grass. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe, but don't just sit and watch internet videos all day. You need to go outside and conquer life because you matter and you need to make every day matter. Now get off the internet and go touch grass.
Until we meet again!